Well, look at you. Look at you. It's really an exquisite delight to be here, and we already have had our Wheaties, I think. And, I see the reflection of myself in you. And I see the rhythm of life in that heart of hearts as far as I see that reflection in your eyes, in my eyes. And it's a beautiful reflection. And I know, for instance, Deb has been to India, and so she may confer with you later about those plane tickets. And I feel your desire. I really feel your desire to be well and to live a good life and to be the very best that we can be in this beautiful world. My heart is so absolutely full. It's full of love, of joy, of this beautiful heartfelt place. And just to see that reflection, and just imagine going out in our world and seeing the presence in everyone. Just imagine going out. I know we're going to have a picnic, and it's easy to do, and some of us have worn the Hawaiian shirts. And it's real easy to go out and see the presence in everyone. And we know what it takes. We know what it takes to be well and to live and to thrive and to have that peace-filled life. So I just would like to congratulate us for being here and to know that we're celebrating already. It's like life is a picnic and we're already at it. We don't have to wait till after service to be at that picnic. And we're in a season of grads and dads. And if we look at today as a commencement, we're having a start of a new life. We're at a beginning. We're commencing something. And when I was at a graduation ceremony a few years ago, Dr. Eloise Oliver, who has been in the ministry for about 3 decades in the Bay Area, she said, if a person crosses your mind and a smile does not cross your lips, you have work to do. So if I can look out in the world and see the presence in, through, as, and around me and in everyone, I know that the work is already happening, that then I can play and really have life be more of a picnic. And so, yes, and I thought, well, maybe she doesn't know these people, or, holy moly, if a face crosses our mind and we don't have a smile, we have work to do. And I thought, well, maybe, yeah, she doesn't know some of these folks. But yes, she does. She's been around the block. And to have that be an example. And I know that as we believe, and that we know that we never walk alone, that we're always partnered with the divine, that we can see that presence within every one every one of us, because it's within us. And so we carry that with us all the time. And so we have songs that reveal that to us. We have the voice, that inner voice that reveals that to us. And like Mother Teresa said, sometimes she says, as she's looking at people, and I'll paraphrase, there's spirit again. There's spirit again, and it's in one of its many distressing disguises. And as we talked about, if a smile doesn't cross our lips, I heard someone say, uh-oh. And what that is, we could change that oh to a aha, and have those ahas revealed in our lives. Oh, there's spirit again. So in my life, it's a real small world. I had a friend who messaged me. I'm still getting used to that little message thing that pops up like a bubble. And she says, hey, I'm flying. You want to have lunch? So I'm figuring she just flew in to have lunch. She was really on her way to Taos. And she flew in to have lunch. And we had the greatest time. We'd done a lot of different trainings together and different modalities, and explored our spiritual experiences together. And I said, well, what did you learn? And she says, well, I learned to have more love and affinity in my life. I learned to not make people wrong. I learned to not justify things. I learned to forgive because the transformation is for myself. And it's a gift that I give myself. And to allow that. And she says, yeah, a smile does cross my lips when I think of people. And I allow it to be so because I know I'm in that same rhythm of life And I also had a friend from Flagstaff. It was like the Swallows coming back to San Luis, or wherever that is, San Juan Capistrano. we went, I went one year and it was just the swallow. It wasn't a whole bunch of birds, but evidently this was flocking in Albuquerque week because I had another friend from Flagstaff who sings. And so we had breakfast, and then my other friend and I had lunch. And so I'm figuring if anyone wants to have dinner, just let me know, and we'll complete the day. The previous week, then I was with friends having all kinds of fun in other meals. And so as I looked at graduation, as we're always graduating from something. We're commencing on something new. As we look at that, we can look at today being a celebration of commencement. And in my preparation of today, I was thinking of Grandpa Bob, who was my maternal grandfather. And he came, it was kind of like the Beverly Hillbillies. They came in an RV to my high school graduation. They pull up in their RV, and Grandpa Bob sits through the whole commencement with his eyes open. And then I heard this, and he could get through the whole thing. And it was a couple hours. And he did this too at business conferences. I thought he was such a successful businessman. I don't know if he slept through all of his conferences, but he too, he studied metaphysics. He studied how to be successful and how to thrive. And I thought, did he really sleep through this in a kind of a trance state? So there was Grandpa Bob, and they were like the Beverly Hillbillies. And so he would travel and he would be with people. And I was saying to my friend yesterday at lunch, she says, what's the best part about being here in Paradise Hills in Albuquerque? And I said, I just love to love people. I love to love. And that if we look at that and be that, it makes things very simple. That we love to love, and we can look out from that lens. So travel was probably my best education, and I don't know that I ever graduate from that, but I'm looking forward to people flocking in and to me flocking out a little bit and having a great time, like at the picnic this afternoon. And when I think of things, I think that there's humor. We could all use a little bit more levity and a little bit more humor. And the comedic actor and producer Jim Carrey spoke at a commencement exercise. Has anyone seen this or heard this? Yeah. So he's famous for movies like Ace Ventura and Pet Detective, Dumb and Dumber, although he's wise and wiser, I think. And also Bruce Almighty. So if you haven't watched that recently, that'll give a little reality check on life. Kind of an updated version on Monty Python's The Meaning of Life, I think. And so at this commencement address, he says, the decisions we make in the moment are either based on love or fear. He says, so many of us have chosen our path out of fear disguised as practicality. Practical. Doesn't that sound, it's practical. He grew up in a family that was so poor that for one time they had lived in their van in a neighbor's lawn, on the neighbor's lawn. And he is proof that later on in life, he learned that he could ask the universe for what he wants, much like a plane ticket to India. He says, so many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality and never dare to ask the universe for what we love. So today, we can commence on asking the universe for what we love. Jim Carrey really is the proof because he asked the universe for what he loved to do. He saw himself as a comedian. He mailed a resume to the Carol Burnett show, and then his road took off. And what he did was he took out his wallet and he wrote himself a check for $10 million. And in the little memo, I always have a little thank you. In the little memo, he says, for acting services rendered. And he dated it. This was in 1990. He dated it Thanksgiving of 1995. And by that time, he'd been in a film. It was called Liar, Liar, which is kind of funny. It's how we have self-talk to ourselves. What he did was, at that time, his fee was not 10 million, it was 20 million. What he focused on multiplied. It expanded. He set his intent to ask the universe for what he loved. And his father, what he did was he got beyond his upbringing. His father chose a very safe job as an accountant. And it wasn't too long that he had lost that very safe job, and they really had to make do. And his father could have been a comedian too, but what he did was he chose a safe place, and they did make do. And so what Jim Carrey learned from that, from his dad, and he said at this commencement address, he said, you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. His dad failed at what he thought it was going to be a safe thing, although he could have been a comedian. You can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. So what are we doing today to guide our thinking, to do what we love, to discover those hidden facts that are really the truth of who we are, to discover and explore? Are we calmly accepting our current circumstances as, well, that's what's available. That's just the best that's available. Are we just calmly accepting that? Does our family background really limit our experience? Does dropping out of college mean that we come from a place of lack or scarcity, or do we want to join the ranks of Bill Gates, who dropped out of college? Do we want to join the ranks of Michael Dell, who did Dell Computers? Even Maya Angelou dropped out of college. Could we anticipate success even with whatever obstacles that we have, whether it's obstacles in our health, obstacles in our pocketbook, or we could write ourselves a check for whatever amount and put in the memo what it's for, to do those things that we love and to be those qualities, to have that sense of becoming and learning and growing. And I'm exploring the concept more and more that we have nothing to lose, only something to learn and to grow. Nothing to lose as we put ourselves out there and to flow with that heartfelt rhythm of our heart. What would we do if we wrote ourselves a check? And then how would we plan on cashing that in? And that could be a check of energy. You know, it's money is an exchange of energy. Health is an exchange of energy. There's that vibrant energy. And there's so much resources, so many things. Movie producer Steven Spielberg said, I dream for a living. You know? Can you imagine putting that on your resume? Hey, I dream for a living. What would you be doing now if you had no fear? What would you be doing if you were doing the thing that you love? Whether that's with family, the grandkids. What would you be being, doing, and having now if you had millions in your wallet? And to commence on that journey as if that was already yours, and claiming that good. So there's something life-affirming about that, because, you know, we talk about positive living and positive thinking. We can certainly be positive that we're broke. Or we can be positive that, oh, it's allergy season, you know, or how irritating that is. Or I'm positive that this relationship is done. But we can be life-affirming and affirm that which is so beneficial, so real, so true, and to start living as love. I've been studying conscious communication and compassionate communication for years, and it's like, okay, the 12th time, I'm going to pick up Marshall Rosenberg again. And what it does is it takes things from like a have to and moves things into a want to. and to declare that I choose to, whatever that is. So if I had something that I didn't particularly care to do or was bogging me down or dragging around, I would put I choose to in front of whatever that is. I choose to 1, 2, 3, or I choose to X, Y, Z. And it really lightens things up. And then what I do is I add, I choose to do the dishes. I choose to do that paperwork or fill out that report. I choose to because I want. I add that one more thing. Because I want whatever that is. I choose to because I want. And then that becomes more life-affirming and it touches my heart. And then I can have a smile cross my lips even more. In our 5 Gifts to an Abundant Life class, we explored adding to our affirmations or our way of declaring that which is personal and present tense and positive and powerful for us. We explored using in this now moment and declaring it to be true. So, I am loved, loving, and lovable in this now moment. And imagine going through the day being the presence. I am the presence of Spirit in this now moment. So there's things that we can add. It's like a supplement. It's like a declaring that, yeah, I choose to do this, or I choose to be this because I want this. Or I know I am with that complete conviction and poise and calm and confidence and assurance of that spiritual life. That yes, in this now moment, it is who I am. So we have affirmative prayer, which is one of our tools for our tool belt, where we can, in essence, take a stand for someone or something. It can elevate our awareness in this now moment. And so as we elevate our awareness, we know that there's that motion, there's that tendency, there's something already in process, that whether that's a healing of a false belief, of living a life out of fear, let me do something that's safe, or daring to do the thing that I love, to become even more fully who I am and to take a stand. And what we know about the power of prayer is that it absolutely works because it's the language. It's the language of our own heart. So we bring that beautiful language, and yes, it's eloquent, it's articulate. It is that simple practice, much like that simple practice of just waking up in the morning and realizing that not only do I have goats outside my bathroom window, but I have an apricot tree. I didn't know it was an apricot tree. I had no idea. And then here I'm seeing these little luscious, delicious, furry things they're so good. And what a treat. I didn't know because it didn't have apricots last year. And then the cherry tree too. It's like there's surprises. It was already there, right there. I've been looking at it for a long time. And it bore fruit, and I'm just so enjoying that. And so I'm loving that. I have a happiness jar, which is filled with dog treats too. But what we do with a happiness jar is it builds a habit. We take one thing that we're happy about. One thing. Can you imagine just one thing? That's all. Not much to ask. One thing that makes us happy. And at the end of the day, put it in the happiness jar. And if there's some time that I'm feeling kind of low or in slow-mo, whatever that is, I can always pull that out and have a happy thought. And what it does is I can treasure those moments, because not only do I treasure the moment at the time, but I can it's like that what's on the shampoo bottle. It says rinse and repeat. And then repeat, it's a real profitable idea that the shampoo manufacturers came up with, is rinse and repeat. So you can repeat that happy thought. And it literally takes less than a minute a day. Does anyone have a minute a day that they could do this? Yes? And so we have a collection of happy moments. And our theme this month is sowing seeds of happiness. And we can do the thing that we love. And it's really the simplest as we admire what gives us that satisfying joy. And so in thinking about the happiness, the happiness jar, that's another spiritual practice that we can have. Not only affirmative prayer, but we have a happiness jar. Becky, my dog, is really, really happy because this has happy treats for her too. So there's a subtle thing. There's a subtle thing that we can take with us. And so as I was sitting at lunch with my friend yesterday, we were saying what gives us the most fulfillment. What gives us the most fulfillment in life? What about you? What gives you the most fulfillment in life? And you can put that idea on a jar. You can pull it out later. And where do you find your purpose? Where does your fulfillment and happiness come from? Like being grateful for fresh produce, that sweetness of life, like being grateful for those ideas in the happiness jar. And it's Dr. Ernest Holmes who says, never limit your view of life by any past experiences. Dr. Ernest Holmes is the founder of the Science of Mind, which is a guide for spiritual living, and he's synthesized all the world's spirituality. He synthesized that so that we could use it every day. That it could be parallel to another faith tradition. That it's a faith, it's a philosophy, it's a way of life. And that we can prepare our minds to receive the best that life has to offer. The very best. And somebody said, and if somebody knows who said this, we can attribute it, let me know. It's usually that anonymous person who has so many wonderful quotes. When you hold on to your history, you do it at the expense of your destiny. Holy moly. Because we can give energy in so many directions. And some of us are playing it safe, like the accountant. We can give energy to that or to the past. Or Jim Carrey could have stayed in that van on the lawn and not written himself that declaration of intent. Today is the commencement where we can give energy in the directions that we want to. We can have that fuel and that fire of that energy light up our life with that which is fulfilling, that which gives us happiness, that which we can let go of what that is no longer serving us, and to claim and know, let go and claim and know, just like Jim Carrey did, just like we can do today, and commence on that new journey. Commence and appreciate what's in our happy jar. What's so close. It's not far, but it's what's already here. So close and so near and so dear to us. So let's commence. Let's commence on a new life, and let's have a life based in love. What do we love? How are we being love in this world? How are we being fulfilled? So let's commence on that together. And to know that we are loved, to know that we are cherished, that we absolutely have all of the resources and are energized by that, and so appreciative of that. I invite us to take that within and to just know that there is this moment, this now moment in this inner celebration, that we can turn within and know that there is all of the resources, so many possibilities in this place of the infinite, knowing that there is this realm, this dimension of that which is so clear from this high vista, from this view of life. And trusting and knowing that, yes, all is well, and that we can be this life of love, this life of joy and fulfillment. And what I know is that spirit and this amazing energy is ever available as this resource, being energized, knowing that our intent is on our destiny rather than the history, and knowing that there is that which is in this unified field of connection, of oneness, of wholeness and well-being, thriving in numerous ways, and just noticing even more that which is loved and cherished in our life. So with a warm embrace, just welcoming today as the day to commence on something new and true to our heart. And I'm so grateful for this time together to notice this rhythm of life and love, and to be in the joy unfolding right here and now. And so I release this word knowing it is done. It is that which is complete and whole and so beautiful and so true. And so be it, and so it is.